And lights. And house to half, go. No microphone.
Okay, you want me to bring another ones out? We're good. Just one? Okay.
Mic 7, mic 7, mic 7, mic 7.
Okay, that's better. So what the reason, excuse me, the reason we have Nate, Andy, will you come stand over here so we can see you, please? That we have Nate and Andy here is because we are going to do a little bit of talking and actually say our farewells to you. Now, we want to thank some people. We want to thank the front of the house, Stephanie at the box office, Mitch and Jeff, front of house, Stephen White, tech director, Stephen Bentz, director, backstage, Ron, Kelly, Doug were our mic wranglers, Eric was sound, Randy lights, Kevin McGuire, stage manager, and projection, Joaquin de la Puenta and James Bond. This was the Ebertfest 2022 crew. Let's and Andy has an announcement about next year.
Uh, we, we'd just like to let everyone know the dates for Uberfest 2023, and we hope that you'll all join us. It's April 19th to the 22nd in 2023. We'll be back with more wonderful movies for you all.
And we know that you've had some suggestions and everything along the way. The place that you can write to us is at ebertfest@yahoo.com. ebertfest@yahoo.com. And one moment, your parting remarks.
I don't have any parting remarks. We're not parting. We're just sort of taking a siesta till next April. So it's really been great to be back at the Virginia, back in the way festivals are supposed to be. So thank you all for coming out and joining us and being a part of this restart of Ebertfest. So we'll see you all next year.
But before we say goodbye, we do have one more movie for you, and that is Nightmare Alley. And so in talking with Guillermo del Toro and Kim Morgan, who is his screenwriter on this film, and who's also now his wife, they wanted to record a message for you. So they're going to actually introduce the film. Then we're going to go right into the screening of the film, and afterwards we're going to bring Guillermo's manager, excuse me, Gary Unger, up to the stage along with Nick Allen to talk about the movie a little bit, and then we will have in the evening with Guillermo and Kim on screen with some remarks that they recorded for you. So that's why we wanted to tell you our goodbyes ahead of time, because things are going to just move pretty smoothly on. And I want to take this time to say how grateful I am that so many of you returned, that you got into your cars, or you got on a plane, or you got on a bus or a train, and you made your way here, that you talked to each other, that you sat and enjoyed the films. You welcomed our filmmakers so warmly with beautiful questions, well thought out questions. You also made sure that you ate the food from the trucks outside, and you did business for the establishments around. That's so important. I think when we come to a town, we should just honor it, not just take the services out of it, but also give back to the communities. And you did that so beautifully also with the Alliance for Inclusion and Respect. That's so important. So thank you, and I will see you next year. But actually, I'll see you back tonight. So thank you for now. Hello, Kim. Hello, Guillermo. It's so great to see you.
Same here.
We have the whole Ebertfest audience here with us. And Guillermo, you know that you were, I'm probably our number one guest in the past. You were so generous with our audiences the last time you were with us. They just loved you, and everybody's looking forward to seeing you. And they're looking forward to seeing your bride, Kim Morgan, who
Yes.
was one of our correspondents
Bride
and
and groom.
presents at the movies.
Yep.
And I have to tell you, when I was watching Nightmare Alley, Kim, you came into my head when I was watching the movie because I know the things that you loved about kind of film noirish and femme fatales and
Oh, thank you so much.
all of that. So I watched it and it felt like you were sitting there with me.
Oh,
So
thank you. That means a lot.
yes, and I would love for you to introduce the movie first of all for our Ebertfest audience.
Well, you want to start? I'll start. Well, the movie is a movie that separately we've been dreaming about making in some way for decades. I came in contact with the novel before I came in contact with the film that was on with Tyrone Power, and because it was very difficult to get that in the 90s, and I read the novel and I loved the novel, and I couldn't imagine any movie under the code system adapting that book. And sure enough, when I saw the movie, it was a beautiful movie, but there was so much left to mine out of the book. And I couldn't get my hands on the rights because it was a library title at Fox. So I put it to rest. And then after doing Shape of Water, Kim and I said, why don't we do something together? We write together. And she said, what about Nightmare Alley? And of course, Shape of Water was at Fox. So it was a very different circumstance. And we went at it. I remember being daunted by the book when I read it. And reading it again, I got even more daunted by it because it's so complex.
And we both, I mean, we what I suggested was adapting the novel, because we both love the novel, and that's something that we learn.
Yeah, letting the movie, the first version, exist on its own,
Yeah.
not consulted, not look at it. We literally said, if anything we like from it seeps in, we can talk about it. But if not, if we don't remember anything, that let's leave it alone.
And we'll probably later talk about this, but there were so many things in the novel, and as we researched the author, who we both became rather obsessed with, there were a lot of things that were very timely today.
Yes.
That resonated with us. So it just seemed it was a world that we wanted to go into, and then it became really personal.
Very personal for both, and we'll talk about it after. But now that you're going to watch it, I can only say this is not a movie about a long time ago. It's a movie about today.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
movie that we thought was pertinent to talk about lying, truth, and the power of being scammed by yourself and others. So, and the cruelty we dispense to each other.
And the film, you can call it a noir. I don't even think the original is technically just a noir. But one of the reasons why I think a lot of film noir stands the test of time that's great is that it stays timely.
Yeah.
It's something that people can relate to now for many reasons, whatever the story may be. But
I would agree.
particularly a very American style noir for Americans.
I think like it happens with every school of painting, with every school of cinema, with any genre. Most of the time, the square box where people fit things in happens after the fact.
Okay.
And we wanted to address the underbelly of the American dream.
Yeah.
So here we go.